Now at 10, a man is dead after being hit by a driverless tractor in Cherokee County. Plus, the Altamont, Kansas Recreation Commission hosts its 9th annual Boo Bash. And the neighborhood Lifehouse hosts the fall fundraiser and open house.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. This is your KOAM News at 10. I'm Jalen Banks. The Kansas Highway Patrol says one pedestrian was killed after a driverless tractor struck them. According to the crash report, the incident occurred off of Northwest Liberty Road in Cherokee County yesterday afternoon. The Kansas Highway Patrol says the driverless tractor struck a 2006 Chevy truck, and the pedestrian was Joseph M. Carlson, who was 73 years old. Carthage Fire battled 2 large grass fires today at 7:30 a.m. near Jack Pine and County Road 170 with assistance from Jasper, Missouri Fire and others. Then 2 p.m. this afternoon on Dogwood Road and County Road 130. Dunwig Fire assisted with a brush truck, and as daylight came, there was nothing but a pile of rubble where Iglesia Cristiana once stood at 122nd and Grant. It burned in a late night fire that spread from a warehouse. The Missouri State Fire Marshal is helping with that investigation. Fire departments across the state of Kansas have prepared for extreme fire danger, and they're asking for your help as well.
Storm Team 12 on alert this weekend as the dry, windy conditions creates extreme fire danger in Kansas. Saturday, some grass fires ignited in parts of Sedgwick County, like this one near Derby. The fire got close to 2 homes and a barn, burning nearly 26 acres.
Turned out a neighbor had burned yesterday. Checked on the fire last evening. It was out to their assumption it was out. But the coals, once they get looking gray and there's no visible smoke, they assumed they were out, went inside for the night, come out this morning, the wind kicked up.
Fire departments across the state are preparing for the extreme fire dangers in their areas, with western Kansas being the most likely to see fire danger.
Right now the current humidity is around 20%, 80 degrees, and we've had gusts up to 50 today with a pretty steady 20 to 30 mile an hour wind, and tomorrow is going to be even more significant with low humidity.
Robert Timmons, fire chief for Sedgwick County Fire District 1, says it's important for everyone to take preventative measures.
Catalytic converters or carbon deposits from inside the exhaust blowing out at several thousand degrees and ending up over in the grass by the side of the road. That's what most of our roadside type grass fires are. Try to keep everything on the pavement. When you look around, the grass is still standing vertical. Until we get a good wet heavy snow and lay that grass down, it's going to be a problem.
Another fire safety and prevention tip to keep in mind while you're on the roads this weekend: make sure you're not discarding cigarettes.
Cigarettes can be a problem, and we still ask people to be responsible in discarding those cigarettes because there's no point in taking a chance on causing a fire.
Timmons says with the long drought, the humidity and high winds,
it's the worst. High wind, low humidity. We've had several fires this week involving farm implements out cutting soybeans. So even when people are being careful, bad things can happen.
Yes, so please be mindful. All right, now Sam joins us with the first look of the weather. Sam, what do you have for us?
Well, the good news is that the fire danger is decreasing now. We're under a wind advisory still until about 1 o'clock this morning, and we're starting to see some showers now developing on radar up to the north of Nevada, up in Butler County, and this is going to be a big problem. The drought continues. However, we're going to put a big dent in it over the next 24 to 36 hours. But you can see exceptional drought across southeast Oklahoma, or southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma, southwest Missouri. And the winds today really exacerbated the problem with those fires, with gusts over 35 miles per hour in many locations. Winds have died down just a little bit, but still, they're still up there at about 29 miles per hour over in Independence. However, there is some hope on the horizon. We have a wet Monday in the forecast with some chilly rains on Tuesday. Maybe a drought buster by the time this is all said and done. And what about the Halloween forecast? Well, we'll have the answers to that coming up in just a little bit, so you want to stay tuned.
The Altamont, Kansas Recreation Commission hosted their 9th annual Boo Bash. Free drinks, food, and games took place. Costume and pumpkin contests were held, and the top 3 winners in each category won a prize. Local businesses sponsored the event with toys for door prizes, and every child was able to receive a treat bag full of goodies.
It gives everyone a sense of pride of small town community to come together and be able to just show support in our own little town.
Following the Boo Bash, the city of Altamont held a trunk or treat. The Neighborhood Lifehouse is having a fall fundraiser and open house. The Lifehouse serves the community through after-school programs for kids and through other community events. Tonight's fundraiser consisted of a dinner and silent auction.
We've had an annual fundraiser for several years, and it's usually been in the fall to just update donors, to get connected with people who might not have known about our ministry and get the word out, and also to connect more people with what we're doing here through Neighborhood Lifehouse.
The Neighborhood Lifehouse is located at 516 North Wall Avenue in Joplin. The Calvary Baptist Church in Joplin held their fall festival today. There were a multitude of family activities, such as candy, food, music, games, and more. The event gives individuals opportunities to enjoy some fall fun and fellowship.
Really, there's nothing better than to see the little kids as happy as they are. You know, they're having a great time, and that's what we're really about. You know, we want to make sure that they feel welcome and that they know that this is a good church home for anybody who wants to come.
If you're looking for some fall fun and events before the season wraps up, you can find them on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. With Election Day just over 2 weeks away, candidates across the country continue making their final big push on the campaign trail. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said on CBS's Face the Nation that she is very confident in Democrats' midterm chances, despite recent CBS estimates showing Republicans taking control of the House. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavidez reports from Miami.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi expressed optimism as the midterm races enter the home stretch.
We feel very confident.
Pelosi says Democrats shouldn't be blamed for stubbornly high inflation, hovering around 40-year highs.
If you look at what we have done to bring down the cost of prescription drugs, to bring down the cost of energy and the rest in our legislation, you will see that that has been opposed every step of the way by the Republicans.
CBS News estimates show the Republicans potentially taking control of the House with 224 seats. In Pennsylvania's contentious Senate race, Democratic candidate John Fetterman campaigned in Philadelphia Sunday ahead of this week's debate against Republican opponent Mehmet Oz.
He believes he can buy this seat.
In Georgia, Republican candidate Herschel Walker is battling on despite revelations about his past behavior.
It's our option come November. Right now, this early voting, we get an opportunity to change it.
Former President Trump has been a supporter of Walker and other GOP candidates as he looms large during the midterms. Last night at a rally in Texas, Trump indicated he's still considering another White House run in 2024.
In order to make our country successful, safe, and glorious again, I will probably have to do it again.
Last week, the House panel investigating the January 6th attack on the Capitol subpoenaed the former president to testify. He has not yet said whether he will. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
Election day is already here. In Nevada, where there is a tight Senate race, early voting began Saturday and mail-in ballots were distributed last week. Nationwide, some 7 million Americans have already cast ballots and locked in their decisions. And we now take time to honor tonight's four-state hero, Nicholas DeLong, a Joplin native, served in the Air Force from 1926 till 1975. He earned the Air Force Achievement Medal and the Air Force Commendation Medal. To Master Sergeant Nicholas DeLong, we thank you, our four-state hero. Today, the United States rejected as transparently false a new claim by Russia's defense minister. He claimed that Ukraine is preparing to detonate a radioactive dirty bomb with Western help on its own territory. The United States has about 100,000 troops in Europe. CBS's Charlie D'Agata is with some of them along Romania's border with Ukraine.
US F-18 fighter jets take flight off the deck of the USS George H.W. Bush in the Adriatic Sea, taking the lead in NATO exercises dubbed Neptune Strike in support of European allies. NATO released this footage of American F-22 fighter jets in formation with Italian Eurofighters and Polish F-16s, even MiG-29s over the skies of Poland. It coincides with 2 weeks of NATO nuclear training drills currently underway. While on the ground, we joined America's most forward troops near the Ukrainian border. The 101st Airborne Division from Fort Campbell, Kentucky, now headquartered in Europe for the first time since World War II. With Colonel Edwin Mathaidis and Brigadier General John Lubis, we board Black Hawk helicopters to the edge of NATO territory.
Why is it necessary to have the 101st here? We bring a unique capability from our air assault capabilities. It's also incredibly meaningful to us to return to Europe after 80 years away.
With the Ukrainian border less than 5 miles away, we reach the forward operating site, where soldiers of the 101st and Romanian troops unleashed a live fire assault on targets in a simulated battle.
This is exactly the kind of combat scenario Ukrainian forces are facing every single day. The big difference here is these Romanian troops are backed up with U.S. military firepower.
Every shot has to count. Every training event has to be the best we could do. It's something that our allies want to emulate, and then, of course, our adversaries are watching.
A show of force for America's allies and adversaries alike. Charlie Daggett, CBS News, near the Ukrainian border, Romania.
It was a warm and windy day across the area, but rain is on the way. I'll have the details when we come back. Well, it was a windy and warm weekend across the area. In fact, we set a record high yesterday. We set a record high again today with 86 degrees. Right now, it's still very mild out there, including Seneca, Missouri, with the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort down there in McDonald County. A beautiful night shaping up down there. It was warm across the entire area today, with most places getting into the 80s, mid-80s in several locations like Chanute with 86 today, 83 in Garnett, 86 at Fort Scott, 85 in Nevada. And then add on top of that the strong winds. They had wind gusts of 53 miles per hour at Woodson and also over near Sedan today, and near hurricane force out in western Kansas this afternoon. 86 was our high, which was the old record was 85, set way back in 1947. The low this morning was 70, which was actually 2 degrees warmer than the normal high for this time of year. And over the last 3 weeks, it's been above normal for 16 days this month. Only 2 normal days and 5 below on our high temperature. So October is probably going to end up being another warm month, as we've had a lot of those this year. All right, let's take a look at the radar right now. We're still under wind advisory until 1 o'clock tonight, obviously due to the strong south winds, but at least we now are starting to see some showers developing on radar up to the north near Butler and Rich Hill, and that is a harbinger of things to come, because we're going to see lots of rain over the next 24 to 36 hours, and I think that's good news. Temperatures right now are still in the mid-70s out there, close to 80 still in Chanute, 78 in Neodesha as well as in Sedan, a little bit cooler over in Anderson, where they're currently down to 66 degrees. Dew points, they're up as well, and that's because of the increasing moisture on those south winds today, really causing the dew points to jump up into the upper 50s to around 60 degrees, and that's going to help with the rain production on those thunderstorms once we get them going. Right now in Joplin, we're 75. Look at the wind. Still out of the south at 24. We were close to 50 miles per hour with some of the gusts today. Feels like 75, dew point is 57, and the humidity is at 53%. There is a risk of severe weather tonight, but it's going to be way up to the north in eastern the Dakotas and southwest Missouri, or southwestern Minnesota, I should say, and northwestern Iowa. Nothing really to worry about tonight in our area. Instead, we're going to be focusing on tomorrow. There's a larger risk of severe weather down across East Texas, southeast Oklahoma, and southwest Arkansas. Here in our area, the main threat is going to be very high for heavy rainfall and a moderate risk of some high winds with some of those thunderstorms. We have 2 systems that are combining together that's going to generate all the rainfall. This is the remnants of Roslyn, which come ashore as a Category 4 hurricane in western Mexico. It's going to combine with this storm system over southern Utah. Those things are going to pull out into the plains tomorrow, generating the showers and thunderstorms and heavy rain across our area. Then it will start to move up to the north and east just in time for the next storm system to drop down into the northern Rockies. But that one is probably going to make a track to the south and mainly stay south of us in our forecast. Lows tonight, not very low. Generally in the upper 60s to around 70 degrees with scattered showers and storms developing across our area. Then tomorrow, widespread rain as the front moves in from the north and west, temperatures in the 60s. Then the front sweeps through, and then we get a little bit of a break in the rain, but the rain comes back as we move into Tuesday morning with northerly winds and a chilly rain at that, with temperatures in the 40s. And then during the afternoon, temperatures rising into the 50s as the rain moves away, with northwesterly winds moving into our area, bringing in some drier air. And then by Wednesday morning, we're going to see lows in the 30s with light northeasterly winds. How much rain? I think you're going to like this. We're going to see a widespread area of 1 inch or more. Some areas could approach 3 inches of rain, especially down in the south sections of our viewing area like Cassville and Bentonville, but everyone should get a good soaking from this storm system. Over the next 7 days, tomorrow 70 with rain likely, let's just call it 100%. Then Tuesday, 60% chance of storms, and then Wednesday a little bit cooler. And then the next system drops in, but like I said, I think most of that's going to be down to the south. And then as we look towards Halloween, not too bad. 72 degrees for all the goblins out there.
Yeah, that looks awesome. Lots of rain on that forecast, and hopefully we get it to break that drought.
Hopefully we're going to break this drought.
All right.
We're going to give it a try.
Absolutely. All right, thank you, Sam. All right, my friend Danny joins us now, and as we know, through the first 7 weeks of the season, Pitt State started a little slow, but they were able to pull it off.
Yeah, 8-0 now with the win over Missouri Western. We'll hear from the team coming up. Plus, the Kansas City Chiefs aim to bounce back from last week's tough loss against the Bills. That and more next.
Kramer's Meats.
The Chiefs are 4-2 this season and currently sit at the top of the AFC West standings. Today, Kansas City is on the road facing San Francisco. Chiefs down by 10 in the first. Patrick Mahomes tosses it to McCole Hardman for the 8-yard touchdown. That cuts the 49ers lead to 3. Later, Hardman on the sweep again. He works to the sideline, stays in bounds, and leaps into the end zone. Chiefs on top, and they do not look back. After the break, Clyde Edwards-Helaire finds a big hole. 16-yard touchdown run makes it 21-13. Chiefs put up a big fourth quarter. Mahomes goes deep to Marquez Valdez-Scantling for the 57-yard pickup. A few plays later, Hardman gets his third touchdown of the game. It's a hat trick for Hardman. And the defense making plays in the fourth as well. Frank Clark brings down Jimmy Garoppolo in the end zone for a safety. Kansas City up by 14, and why not put on some more? Mahomes finds Juju Smith-Schuster wide open in the middle. He's got one guy to beat, and he does it. Long touchdown, and the Chiefs are bringing home the win, 44-23, the final.
First, you just go to the O-line, and Orlando Brown, I don't know if y'all seen him, but he was getting out on the edge, right? Jody Fortson had a key block out there too, so, without them, I wouldn't get in the end zone. But I think I got a good feel for it, man. Honestly, just the vision and, trying to find the little holes and the little gaps between the defenses to try to hit. Like you said, if you can get through them with speed and you try to get somebody one-on-one, it's going to be a long day for that defender, so I just trying to do that.
The Pitt State Gorillas picked up their 8th win of the season on Saturday, beating Missouri Western 28-16. The Gorillas' offense got off to a slow start. They were held to 7 points through 2 quarters and trailed at half, but Pitt State rallied for a big third quarter comeback and managed to keep their perfect record intact. Chad Dodson threw 3 touchdown passes to 3 different receivers, while Caleb Lewis led the rushing attack with 101 yards and a score.
First half, they came out and punched us and kind of ran it down our throat a couple of times. They had a couple long drives that, to put points on the board. And I think it was just a gut check for us. It was really imperative that we come out the second half and make adjustments and come out flying, and we did. I think we went on a span of 21 answered, and props to the offense. They came out firing. A great job on their part.
Missouri Southern hung around with Emporia State on Saturday, but came up short in the end, falling 24-21. Head coach Atiba Bradley said the Lions executed their game plan well. They managed to limit the Hornets' time of possession, but a few short fields and a play here and there made the difference.
That offense is all about possessions. And the more they touch the ball, the more they're going to score, the more yards they're going to have, the more stress they're going to put on your defense. And so, yeah, it was intentional. We wanted to keep them on the sideline. And like I said, I think for the most part we did that. There was, a holding penalty on 3rd and long. And then I'm trying to think, maybe a drop pass or a bad throw on a 2nd down that made it tough.
We'll be right back.
Dwayne Johnson set a new milestone with his latest movie, and we'll find out how Black Adam fared at the box office. We'll also take a look at other top performers in the box office.
Lyle Crocodile crawled back 2 spots this week to 5th place on ticket sales of $4.2 million. Halloween Ends dropped from 1st place down to 4th with $8 million, as Smile went from 2nd to 3rd with $8.4 million.
Mom, Dad, this is good day.
George Clooney and Julia Roberts' latest rom-com, Ticket to Paradise, brought in $16.3 million, good enough for a ticket to a 2nd-place debut.
I kneel before no one.
And the new undisputed heavyweight champion of the box office is Black Adam. Dwayne Johnson's overpowered anti-hero fought off all contenders to dominate 1st place with a $67 million opening, marking Johnson's biggest debut as leading man. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damagella.
All right, Sam, we've had a roller coaster of weather.
Yes.
What do you have for us?
It is a pleasure to bring this forecast, as we're going to see lots of rain across our area tomorrow and Tuesday. A little bit drier on Wednesday and cooler, but then more chances of rain, mainly down to the south on Thursday through Sunday. But then for Halloween, looks pretty good.
All right, sounds good. Danny, what do you have for us?
Chiefs erase a 10-point deficit today and beat the 49ers. They're now 5-2 this season.
Sounds good. Well, that's our time for now. Thank you for joining us and making us part of your night. We'll see you here next weekend.